Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Chase Oliver channel, bringing you my UFC 183 recap and results show. As always, with me for the UFC 183 or just the UFC recaps in general, HeelSteven. Steven, how's it going, my man?
Hi.
Yes, HeelSteven is here, and you guys noticed a little custom layout. Shout out to OK Faye for making these for us. This is actually for the Team Heel podcast, which you guys can check out. I am a regular member on the Team Heel podcast, so you'll see me on there, and we discuss a lot of things like professional wrestling, boxing, MMA, sometimes some sports. So if you want to hear more input from Chase Oliver, check out the Team Heel podcast. Also added to this, if you guys can see there's a call live number. This call live number, you guys can call in, you guys can leave your thoughts on the UFC 183. Just say what your name is and where you're from, and we will talk about the events of UFC 183 with you. Now, Steven, what were your thoughts about UFC 183 tonight?
I thought overall, going in, I was expecting, again, a good show overall. You know, the card itself, it looked, very good on paper. Some of these fights delivered, except, the co-main event, in my opinion.
Yeah, the co-main event was ass.
It was. But overall, though, I'm happy. As a fight fan, I'm just happy that we saw a very good, solid UFC card. It has been a while if you think about it, too. You know what I'm saying? Like, It's been a while. In Las Vegas, the MGM Grand. Again, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm happy with this fight card. This fight card was actually entertaining. It wasn't just the main event that sold me to this fight. It was like every single fight on this fight card I felt was semi-entertaining to mildly entertaining. I mean, I'm not saying like these fights were just amazing and phenomenal, but a lot of these fights were much more better for the undercard than I've been getting lately. And I just felt like the UFC kind of with this card went back to their old roots where it's like, hey, we have a bunch of nobodies on a big card, like a Silva versus Diaz, and we have one co-main event with people who have name value in there, but they're not really like, top guys in their division. I mean, people will say Tyron Woodley's ranked number 4, but in all honesty, come on, Tyron Woodley, let's be real here. This guy in real life, if we were doing real rankings here, not these UFC bullshit rankings, this dude would just be top 10 at best. So really, I just felt this card had a old feeling, an old UFC feeling to it. Like you said, being in MGM Grand, it just had a nice old feeling to it. Being in Vegas, having a big, huge main event with a lot of fighters where we're just kind of like, oh man, these guys are fighting? This doesn't seem interesting, but it made it interesting. So yeah, I agree with you there. And by the way, for you guys who cannot read the text where it says call live, the call live number is 718-473-0813. Steven will inform me when a live caller is calling in. This is totally free. It's not going to cost you any money. So if you want to give your thoughts on UFC, you want to come on here, curse me out, say I'm a dumbass or all this other stuff, go right ahead. It's all cool with me and Steven. We can handle the hate. We know how to embrace the hate. Yeah, we have thick skin. Literally, we have thick skin. We're back. We have no problem admitting that.
I think the new trend, I think big and round is the new Calvin Klein. Let's be fucking real here.
Yeah, exactly, man. The ladies want more cushion to push it. It's not just us men with the asses. The ladies also want it too. But anyway, Steven, let's get started with UFC 183. But first, before we get started, we always have to award a prelim hero. And what is a prelim hero, people? Well, it's someone on the prelims that entertains us. Someone on the prelims that actually does their job and fight. And really, to be honest here, at first, Derek Brunson, he was about to win this prelim hero award. He got a TKO over Ed Herman. But Miesha Tate actually won a fight in the UFC. So congratulations to her. So I'll have to give this prelim warrior, this prelim hero, to Miesha Cupcake Tate. Steven, how much of an honor is it that Miesha Tate is like the third ever prelim warrior for us, or the prelim hero?
It's a big deal, especially it's also a woman. You know what I mean? Especially it's a chick, Miesha Tate, mind you, I didn't get to catch her fight, but I didn't know that she won. I did know that she won. All right, but let's see what happens. I mean, she's claimed that she can, she has the blueprint, if you will, on how to stop Ronda Rousey. I mean, I guess if you think about it, she took her to the third round. I mean, come on. I mean, honestly, I think she's a good fighter. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see her beating Ronda. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, no, Miesha will never beat Ronda. Like, she just, She just takes the fight too personal. That's just the bottom line when it comes down to it. She takes the fight too personal. And actually, Misha's on a 3-fight win streak. She actually won a big-time fight, though, so that's why she's getting this award. A fight that I can remember that was really, really good, too. So, yeah, Misha Tate's on a 3-fight win streak. She's doing really well for herself. So she wins the prelim hero for this edition of UFC 183. And if you guys have any suggestions for the prelim hero, if you feel like someone got screwed of this award, please tell me, because I will do my due diligence and I'll award it to someone else. I just feel like, Misha Tate being on a 3-fight win streak, I mean, come on, she kind of deserves it. And she beat Sarah McCann, where, pretty much everyone was choosing McCann to win this fight. Everyone thought McCann would pretty much beat Misha Tate via unanimous decision. So, for most people I was hearing, I even chose Sarah McCann. I even doubted Misha Cupcake Tate. But, hey, she got the win at the end of the day. Anyway, Steven, it's time to talk about the main card of UFC 183. We kicked off the night with an old face, a former #1 contender to the welterweight title, Thiago Alves. Oh, my God. The Pitbull, man.
He still works there?
Yeah, I know, dude. I was shocked when I was reading the card a long time ago, and I saw Thiago Alves was still fighting. I was like, oh, my God.
I'd expect him probably at this point at Bellator or, World Series of Fighting, but fuck.
Yeah, because if you guys don't know, Thiago Alves actually suffered, a huge, serious, I think it was a brain tumor. I can't remember what the exact injury was, but he suffered a brain tumor a long time ago, and so he was kind of put on the bench per se, and he came back really, really fat. I remember one time he was so out of shape, Dana White was making fun of him, saying oh, I'm gonna eat ice cream like Thiago Alves does every night. So Thiago Alves, man, he came back and he looked in shape. I mean, Thiago Alves is one of the bigger dudes in the welterweight division. I mean, the dude probably walks around at 225 and cuts down to 170. This guy is huge. It's just that he doesn't really have the height to match up, with the hugeness that he has in his body. And he took on Jordan Mein, who I think, the UFC was hoping Jordan Mein would win this fight. They were saying, you know what, let's give Jordan Mein a relatively good name in Thiago Alves. Let's see if Jordan Mein is ready to kind of step up in the upper echelon of the welterweight division. Let's see if we can main event him on some of the fight nights that we do on, Fox Sports 1. Let's see if we can put him on some Fox cards. But Thiago Alves, man, just came out of fucking nowhere, dude, and beat this guy in the second round. Oh, my God. Out of nowhere.
I'll be honest, though, yeah, I mean, again, anything can happen in combat sports, but if that kick didn't happen, the other guy would have won, let's be honest.
Yeah. Thiago Alves got saved by a kick.
Exactly, but I think the other guy, though, whose name I forgot already, is kind of sad. You think about it. I think he has a future in the welterweight division. I think he has a future, absolutely.
Oh yeah, of course. He lost to Thiago Alves, who's a veteran in the sport, and whether you think Thiago Alves is good or not, it doesn't really matter because he's still a veteran at the end of the day. Jordan Mein is still a young prospect in the welterweight division. It's not like he's terrible.
He trains at TriStar, right? With
yeah.
Rory, there you go.
Yeah, he trains at the TriStar gym. I mean, we all know at TriStar they don't train you how to freaking defend actual body blows. They teach you how to just lay on top of people and do nothing. Be boring. Oh, I went there, people. Ooh, get mad. Get mad. Get mad, people. But yeah, it was crazy for Thiago Alves to come out and just shock us. Just shock us with a kick out of nowhere, man. It was. I'm just saying, man. I never expected that to come out of Thiago Alves. Where will Thiago Alves go next? I'm going to be honest here, guys. I don't see Thiago Alves going on Robbie Lawler revenge tour. I don't see him rebuilding his career like Robbie Lawler did. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I don't know who you would throw Thiago Alves next. Maybe Gastelum, just to see if Gastelum will actually make weight against a tough opponent like Thiago Alves.
That's true. If not, maybe Condit.
Oh yeah, Condit's coming back soon. So yeah, you could throw Condit at Thiago Alves. See if Thiago is ready for the big time again, going against a top contender and Carlos Condit. So yeah, I could actually see that. As for Jordan Mein, you will see him on a pre-show near you, man. He'll be fighting in the prelim somewhere, on a fight night or something. Yeah, he'll be fighting in the prelim. Yeah, make sure you get that fight pass for UFC Scandinavia or something like that.
Yeah. The second fight we had here.
Oh God.
Tim Boetsch versus
Thales.
What's his name?
Thales
Thales
Leites.
Leites,
Thales
right?
Leites,
Thales.
former #1 contender to Anderson Silva's title.
Damn. Crazy. Again, I like the fact that it was a brawl. These two guys went to fucking war from the opening bell, just back
Oh
and
my
forth. Let's be
god.
honest. This shit could have gone either way. This
Oh
shit
yeah.
could have gone either way. But at the end, Leites with the arm triangle. And the funny part about it is that Boetsch got out of the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Got out of the first one, and Joe Rogan marked the fuck out. Let's be honest. He marks out for anything at this point, at this stage of the game. And, yeah, that's how the fight ended. But at the end of the day, my hat tipped off to both of them,
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they put on a really great fight. I would argue if the main event wasn't as epic with the name value and how funny it was, that this would be labeled as the legit fight of the night. Like if we were going to give a legit fight of the night award, it would go to Tim Boetsch versus Thales Leites. But come on, man, that main event, that shit was just too good to pass up on.
Funny.
So really,
It was funny.
It was funny as hell, and it was entertaining too. It kept me entertained throughout all 5 rounds, and that's surprising sometimes because normally a 5-round fight would keep me bored. But more on the main event later, people. And if you guys want to give your thoughts on UFC 183, call live now 718-473-0813. There's no charge in it whatsoever. You pretty much call in and you talk. Yeah, it's absolutely free. You talk to me and Steven. You talk about anything you want to talk about on UFC 183, or if you want to just come on and call us idiots and all this other stuff, then go right ahead. We don't care.
But Team Lingo comment, talk about Silva. Well, if you call in, we'll talk about Silva if you'd like, or if not, we'll talk about Silva later on in this. Well, wait a minute. What Silva are you talking about? There we have fucking
Wanderleo, we have Bigfoot, we have all these Silva.
Joe Silva, Eric Silva.
We have all these Silvas running around. So which Silva are you talking about here? Come on, man. Come on. But anyways, as I was saying, so pretty much Thales Leites right now, he's on a huge fight win streak. I think he's 5 in a row right now in the UFC. I don't know if that's going to mean anything to him. I mean, he's been winning them in impressive fashion. It's not like Thales Leites has been putting on boring fights. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. But it's kind of cool because, Thiago Alves and Thales Leites, back in, God, when was UFC 100 against Steven? 2008? Was that when UFC?
Yeah, 08, 09.
08, 09, yeah.
That's when Brock destroyed Frank Mir. I remember that.
Yeah, because Thiago Alves challenged at UFC 100 for the welterweight title, and then 3 events before at UFC 97 Redemption, Thales Leites was facing Silva for the middleweight title, and it's kind of cool to see these kind of 2 old guard guys.
And dude, guess what? We're getting a call right now.
Oh, we're getting a call.
Yeah. Yes, we are. Let's see who it is. Yes, this is the MMA review. Your name and where you're from.
Hey, it's Thrash Maniac again, Levi. What's going on, gentlemen?
What up, Levi? What's up, bro?
What?
What's up?
What's up?
Nothing. I actually watched UFC tonight as well.
What's up, bro?
Yep. I will say this. I thought this was actually an entertaining show, way better than 182. I will definitely say that.
Well, 182 was just boring decision fights, and then freaking Cowboy Donald Cerrone beat down on Miles Jury.
Indeed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
So what do you want to talk about from UFC 183, Levi? What caught your attention here?
Exactly.
Well, the Tate McMahon fight I thought was pretty cool. I mean, you had that first round where McMahon just rattled her with that one punch, and then the second round, kind of back and forth until the end where Misha had the guillotine on for a little bit and not fully on. But, yeah, if you would have had an extra 10 seconds in that second round, Tate would have probably choked her out. And then we saw how the third round went. Tate just was in control.
So
yeah, I was happy for Tate.
So you're just backing up. You're just backing up my fact that Misha Tate should be the prelim hero of the night.
Pretty much, yes.
Yes. So there you go, people. I got already an endorsement why Misha Tate is the prelim hero of the night. She put on a great fight with Sarah McMahon. You guys should definitely check it out because I'm just gonna say this: women fights, they're always so fucking entertaining. Just because these women go out there and they just don't give a fuck. It's like what the flyweight and the bantamweight division should be. Like the flyweight and the bantamweight division, they should be what the women's division is right now, but they aren't. They're just so boring.
And sometimes it's crazy. Sometimes it's amazing how these women fight more aggressive and more better than the men.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's funny because I posted a picture on my Facebook page, right, of Mighty Mouse, you know, in the arena, whatever. I'm like, hey, look what it is! It's the flyweight champion, better known as the TV champion. Because pretty much, think about it, the flyweight division or the flyweight title is the TV title of the UFC.
Yeah,
and our good friend Simon Michael was like, please save us, Dodson, save us.
John Dodson ain't gonna save us from anything, man. John Dodson will get his ass kicked by Demetrius again. We all know that.
Could be.
I mean, Dodson has to prove, but not to the level where Demetrius is at right now. That's just my opinion. But yeah, you know, I wish the flyweight and the bantamweight division could actually look at the women's division and say, oh, so this is how we're supposed to fight. Oh, this will make us popular. This will make people want to actually pay the pay-per-views for us. Because really, to be honest, like these flyweights and bantamweights are supposed to be the high-impact, fun little dudes on the card, but most of the time they have some of the more boring fights that you will see. I can't remember the last flyweight fight where I was like on the edge of my seat, man.
Right. Yeah, and I'll be honest, because of all those additional weight classes, that was one of the reasons why I got away from MMA 5 years ago, because it was too tough to try to follow all these weight division classes. Like, what is going on here?
Indeed.
You know? But hey, I've gotten used to it now.
Yeah. And the team lingo in the comments, gay, obviously, Anderson. Well, of course we're referring to Anderson. We're just fucking around, dude.
Yeah. We're fucking around. We will get to Anderson Silva when we get to Anderson Silva. Right now, we have to give other fighters love. This is not just like the Nick Diaz and Anderson Silva show. This is like every other fighter love. This is what you're going to get out of most recaps. Unlike other recaps, who will just talk about the one main event fight and act like, oh, I know what I'm talking about. No, you're getting actual fight discussion here on the Chase Oliver channel. So deal with it, as Dave Bautista, professional wrestler, would say, a.k.a. former MMA fighter.
So, Lila, what else you want to talk about, bro? What else?
Oh, do you think that Sarah McMahon would end up fighting the loser of the Rousey-Zagano fight?
It could be. It could be, but then again, I did hear talks that the UFC is in negotiation with bringing in Cyborg. I did hear that, apparently.
Oh, boy.
Now, if they do that, obviously they're going to feed her to Ronda. Let's be honest. They're going to feed her to Ronda.
Yeah.
Well, you have to.
That will be their super fight for the women's division. That'll be their super fight. But if anything, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing, you know, that, or if not, for McMahon, you know, again, maybe if Kat Zingano is to lose, hypothetically speaking, we're not saying that she is, but if she does lose, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. She could fight McCann, or I think McCann might be bet to the new Paige girl that they have a crush on, to Paige Van Spurt, or whatever her name is.
Yeah. Indeed.
No, that's her name. That's her name. Like, her name is Paige. I'm not pulling a wrestler out of my ass. I'm saying that's her name. Her name is Paige. Yeah, Paige Van Zant. That's her name.
Indeed.
All right, Levi, we're going to let you go because me and Steven are going to finish up the fight recap. Thanks for calling in, my friend.
And before you go, Levi, do you want to promote your social media, promote your stuff? You're on the air.
Okay, for those who are watching that are not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe right now at youtube.com/ThrashManiac99. I am only less than 10 subs away from 800. That would be gratefully appreciated for those who are watching who aren't subbed. Go ahead and sub, and you could see something special coming from my channel once 800 comes around.
All right, there you guys have it. Subscribe to ThrashManiac99 on YouTube and follow him on Twitter at ThrashManiac99. Hashtag
Brand split.
Don't you dare. Don't. Come on.
Buckeye
This isn't even
says.
wrestling. We're talking MMA. Damn it.
All
We
right,
need
yo,
a brand split in MMA. I think we need a brand split. Bellator and UFC need a brand split right now. But anyways, that was Levi McIntyre, and thus people proving the point that you can call in live and that it is free and that it's healthy for you. So make sure you guys do. I want to hear more MMA opinions. 718-473-0813. Call live now. Yeah, but like we were talking about earlier, Thales Leites is just bossing it up right now, and he should do well. Who should he fight next? Honestly, that's just up in the air because like the middleweight division, it's not really that stacked of a division. It's kind of have become a wasteland. It's just like there's Weidman, there's Vitor, there's Anderson, and then there's everyone else. And then there's Lyoto just kind of burying all the other dudes trying to climb up the ladder.
Or
So-
Hendo, I guess now.
yeah,
And
Jacare
Masasi.
Jacare will never get the rub to ever face for the middleweight title, never ever in his life, which is sad. He's a really talented fighter too. But now we talked about the lightweight fight between Iaquinta
Iaquinta.
versus Joe Lauzon. Oh, Joe Money Lauzon. Mr. Entertainment, and boy, man, dude, Steven, once again, another back and forth brawl between these two. Joe Lauzon in the first round looked really good, and then all of a sudden in the second round, Iaquinta hit him with a huge right hook, and then Joe Lauzon was just done. And I'm surprised about the beating he took.
Lauzon focused more. I feel like Iaquinta focused more on the body shots. If you notice, more on the body shots. But like you were saying, after that he got rocked, and it seemed like Lauzon was gonna. Obviously, he did. But I remember, a couple of fights ago, he fought Jim Miller, and Jim Miller was just destroying this guy. And the fight still kept going. It kept going. But then again, it's different referees. And different referees, they have different choices of when to stop a fight, when they feel a fighter is taking so much abuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree, and the referee did a good job at letting Joe Lauzon try to protect himself, but after Lauzon got rocked for the second time, was on the ground, the referee's like, okay, you're taking too much hammer fist, I'm separating this fight now. The referee did a fine job, in my opinion. He did a really good job, because Lauzon, even when he was getting rocked in the bottom the first time, he was still kind of moving a little bit, and he was protecting himself in a prime fashion way, so it was okay with me. But good win for Iaquinta. I'm sorry that I pronounced her name wrong. You'll probably face Nick Diaz next. Let's just be real here. They have no one else for Nick Diaz to fight.
But for Lauzon, though, I would say, if anything right now, Benson Henderson.
No, Benson, because Benson's looking for a fight, an entertaining one. Joe Lauzon can give that to him, and not only that, it seems like an easy win for Benson.
Exactly. Or if not, you know what? Miles Jury.
Oh, God, no. Let's not see Miles Jury anymore right now. I don't think he deserves to be... He may be the future of the UFC, but really he would just get his ass picked apart by Joe Lauzon at this point. Let's just calm down on the Miles Jury hype train, Steven. Let's just let Joe Lauzon be the good little enhancement talent that he is and help out Benson Henderson get back in his winning ways.
Indeed. Paulo Ribeiro Jr. Silva.
Yes, everyone's excited. By the way, if you guys don't know, me and Steven are both Anderson Silva fans. So if any of you guys are expecting us to hate on Anderson Silva tonight, shut the fuck up. Okay, we're just going to tell you that right now. But if you want to hate on Anderson Silva, which I don't understand why you would, you can by calling in live 718-473-0813. So that number again is 718-473-0813. And like Steven said, it's toll free.
Antonio Michael just commented, who won? Well,
we'll get to that. But actually, Steven, let's just skip the next fight. Well, we won't skip it. We'll discuss it in full detail because it was a piece of crap.
Let's put it this way. Tyron Woodley versus Kelvin
Gastelum.
The shorter we talk about this, the better.
Yeah, it's
all right.
Pretty much all you need to know is that Kelvin Gastelum showed up overweight to this fight, so it became a catch weight of 180 pounds. Tyron Woodley pretty much dominated most of this fight. Kelvin Gastelum is still a pretty good young fighter in the UFC, but he just needs to use but he can't fight middleweight, man. He's too small. He's too small for middleweight.
I think
he needs a good diet.
Mike Dolce. Give Mike Dolce. Did
you hear that? Well, he said Mike Dolce was too expensive, but hey man, that 30% in your purse, man, that's even more expensive than what you think it is, you know? So it's like Joe Rogan said, you rather be healthy and but rather lose the weight than, you know, just freaking, you know, lose 30% of your purse, you know?
Indeed. Now we get into the main event of the evening.
No, but I want to say one thing. Tyron Woodley, you're trying to be a nice guy by making sure Kelvin Gastelum will get his money. Well, guess what, Tyron Woodley? The state commission can actually freaking suspend you if you give back his money. So don't be an idiot. Take his money. It's his fault for not losing the weight. That's just the bottom line when it comes down to it. You earned it, Tyron Woodley. You won this fight.
Or if not, you know, hey, after the show, hey, go back to the hotel room. Don't say shit to nobody.
No, they will find out. They will find out because, Steven, that freaking Nevada State Commission, they know shit, man. They know if you gave the money back to him because they'll track his bank account. They'll be like, how did you get that extra money in there? So they'll know.
Exactly.
So it's Kelvin Gastelum's fault. He didn't make fucking weight. It's his fault at the end of the day. Now,
of course,
to answer Antonio Michael's question, and everyone that's pretty much tuned into this video for, we are now going to be talking about the main event of the evening, pretty much the fight that everyone pretty much just tuned in to watch. The only fight that I cared about for like the last year. Like when this fight was announced, I made a whole podcast dedicated to this fight. I was so excited about Anderson Silva returning to fight off against Nick Diaz. Holy fucking shit. I never thought this was going to be a reality. There was reports Nick Diaz was missing and disappearing, that Donald Cerrone was going to fight Anderson Silva. There was all these random reports that Anderson Silva may not fight at all, and he might just go fight Weidman at UFC 1 whatever. But no, Nick Diaz did show up, and Anderson Silva showed up, and boy, what a fucking show we got. I don't know about you, Steven, but that first round, fucking amazing. That's round of the year. That's round of the year so far in the UFC. It's round of the year, man. That shit was amazing.
Indeed it was, dude. Indeed it was. And again, we saw vintage Nick Diaz. Be honest, vintage Nick Diaz. You know, trash talking. Don't be scared, homie. You know. Unfortunately, we didn't see the Stockton slap, you know, out of respect, I guess, but still, you know, but I understand though. I mean, hey, he wanted Silva to, you know,
come in.
He even laid down.
That was the funniest. When he laid down, I was all like, "Oh my god, that's hilarious!" And then when he went back into the cage, because Silva has done that in the past, I was just like, "God damn, Nick, you're stealing the show right now."
Exactly. But again, you know, I thought overall though, it was a back and forth fight.
Oh yeah.
Back and forth. But I say this to everyone. Yes, Silva obviously won the fight, but let's be real here. You are not going to beat Anderson Silva by decision. It's not going to work, especially when you think about it, right? You know, the title of pretty much 2015 for the UFC is The Time Is Now, right? And especially when you have it, you know, the title of this whole show is The Spider Rises. Pretty much this whole thing has been built around Anderson Silva's return.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time. So, of course, they're going to give Silva the win. And mind you, yes, he was more the aggressive, let's be honest.
He dominated that fight. I don't care what anyone says. Anderson Silva destroyed Nick Diaz tonight. Like, he just destroyed him. Diaz had no answer to him. You know it was desperate because Diaz decided to say, fuck this fight, I lost. I'm just going to fool around in the octagon now. He didn't even want to continue fighting. I mean, Anderson Silva was really focused this fight. It wasn't like the Anderson Silva coming in to fool around and play around and be an idiot. Like, that's what everyone was expecting from this fight, was that it's Silva Diaz. Oh my God, the hilarity that's going to happen in the octagon. But instead, we got a totally different Anderson. He wasn't fooling around. I mean, there was times where Anderson would show off, you know, the no hands type of thing, but he'll only do that for like a couple seconds. But I'm just going to say this, Steven. The exchanges between these two, just phenomenal, man. These two are great strikers. And when they were going at it, like round 1, round 2, late in round 4, you know, like when they were just going at it fisticuffs, man, that shit was just so fun and intense to watch, man, because these two were just hitting each other with hard shots and not giving a shit about it.
Nope, they were not giving a shit about it. And that's what it was all about at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? That's what the sport's about to an extent. But at the end, Silva started getting him. He got emotional. I understand. Hey, you're finally back. Welcome back, Anderson Silva. Obviously, now a lot of casual fans, not the hardcore fan, but again, it's mostly casuals. They want to see Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman 3. Let's be honest here. Do I think it's a good fight? No, it's not.
No.
At this point, here's my take, right? Anderson Silva, does he need to be the champion again? No. At the end of the day, Anderson Silva will go down as the greatest of all time. Of our generation, of course.
Yeah, greatest of all time, like MMA-wise, it's like him and Fedor, those two right there.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely, I would say Hall of Fame bound.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I did say last year that, this year coming up, BJ Penn should go in the Hall of Fame, fuck it, put both of them in the Hall of Fame.
Wait, isn't BJ already in the Hall of Fame? I thought they put him in.
No, they didn't. That year when BJ retired, they put in Pat Miletich.
I thought they put him in before because like his last fight he fought Frankie, and they said he was a Hall of Famer in the intro.
No, he's going to be one.
Did they say legend in the intro? Because I remember they add UFC something before, like they said the former UFC welterweight. Okay, they said legend. Okay, yeah. Because I thought he was in the Hall of Fame. I didn't know that.
This year, who should go in the Hall of Fame is obviously, in my opinion, Anderson Silva and BJ Penn.
Yeah, I'll just say BJ Penn right now because it's like Anderson Silva. I mean, he still has a lot left in him. And really, to be honest, he doesn't even need to win the middleweight title. Like, I get it, why you want to promote Anderson Silva trying to win the belt again. I understand that. But if you're Anderson Silva, you're saying, fuck that middleweight title. Yeah, you can't beat Chris Weidman, but that adds more to the luster of Chris Weidman as a middleweight champion. That makes Chris Weidman more watchable because it's kind of like, dude, this is the guy who beat Anderson Silva not once but twice. And this dude's going on to turn the middleweight division. And Anderson Silva, you can say he's ducking him or whatever, but he just has no interest in fighting him. He knows Chris is the best. He doesn't want to test his luck anymore. He's going to go on and do dream fights. He's going to go on and fight Rashad Evans. He's going to go on and fight Rampage Jackson. He's going to go on and do all these dream fights that a lot of fans have been talking about. Like Anderson Silva.
Or him versus GSP.
Yeah, him versus GSP. Yeah, or him versus Jones maybe as a retirement fight. I mean, really, to be honest, like, what does Anderson Silva gain by being middleweight champion again? Like, I'm a huge Silva fan. Would I love to see him fucking wrap a belt around his waist again? Absolutely. But really, to be honest, there's no point with the contract that he has, the 10-fight contract, now down to 9 fights, is to go for the middleweight title and go on to freaking say, no, I'm not going to fight Jacare or Machida, and then fight Chris Weidman 5 more times. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to see Anderson Silva versus Vitor Belfort 2. I don't want to see Anderson Silva versus Chris Weidman 3, 4, 5. I want to see Anderson Silva fight fights that people have been talking about, like him versus Rashad Evans, him versus Rampage Jackson, him versus Georges St. Pierre, him versus all these dudes that we just been waiting to see him fight in the octagon. That's what you should be using Anderson Silva at this point.
I'll say this though.
Fight these dudes.
I'll say this though, for a retirement fight, it'll be a good fight. If anything, even though not reason to see it, but fuck it anyway. Anderson Silva versus Rich Franklin.
Oh yeah, that'd be a cool retirement fight. I mean, Rich Franklin's done. I mean, he's working with World Series of Fighting now behind the scenes, but that'd be kind of cool if they could get Rich Franklin to come in. That's another dude who will be UFC Hall of Fame bound one day is Rich Ace Franklin, my favorite fighter of all time. For anyone who doesn't know.
Yep. Teacher as well back in the day, math teacher.
Yeah, math teacher, man. And then he freaking went on to win the UFC middleweight championship from Evan Tanner. And he was a good champion until the spider came and kicked the test.
Rest in peace,
Evan Tanner. But, yeah, this fight was really, really fun to watch. Like, for any of you guys wanting to watch a fun MMA fight, this one is it for you. I mean, it's kind of slow at some points, but just know that it does pick up, and the exchanges between Silva and Diaz are just crazy. Nick Diaz is really funny in this fight because he keeps on trolling Anderson Silva, not really taking the fight all too seriously. So when it comes down to it, it's just a fun fight to watch. I'll say that. Is it the best fight you'll ever see? No. But if you want to kill time and watch a fight for 25 minutes, I have no problem suggesting that. Anderson Silva crying after the fight because he's happy that he's finally back. For all you people who think he's retiring, no, he's not. Anderson Silva is still going to be with the UFC. He always brings up the fact that his kid doesn't want him to go back to fight. So we all know that
I'll
all
say
know
this
that.
stuff, anything too. It'd be a good fight to watch now at this point. I would love to see this fight because, again, at this point for Anderson Silva, you should make, again, like we were talking about, him versus Rashad, him versus Rampage, GSP, right? Hell, right now, to my understanding, he's coaching the next year of the Ultimate Fighter with Shogun.
No, they're friends. They won't fight.
Nah, but just imagine that fight, though.
Yeah, that fight would be cool, Steven, but Anderson will never fight another Brazilian. That's just the bottom line when it comes down to it. Unless the Brazilian is totally disrespectful like Vitor. Like that, if you disrespect Anderson Silva, then he will fight you. But Shogun and Anderson are two closer friends, and I would love to see it, man. Like, don't get me wrong, Anderson Silva versus Shogun, fuck, that'd be amazing. But I don't think it'll ever happen. But hey, we'll have to wait and see when it comes down to it. But yeah, when it comes down to it, the fight's really fun. Nick Diaz has one of the best post-fight interviews ever. He thought he won every single round. He said that he's just here to fight. He ignored all of Joe Rogan's questions and talked about how he was going to walk the walk. Says the judges hate his attitude here and all this other stuff. Nick Diaz was really funny. He was, like you said, vintage Nick Diaz here tonight on the microphone.
I was expecting him to say, "Hey, Joe Rogan podcast by day, but by night."
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting that, to be honest. I was expecting that, but again, vintage Nick Diaz. What's next for him? Who knows? I mean, again, he's only going to do big fights, if you will.
Yeah.
But again, it'll be cool to see him come back actively. It'll be cool to see it happen. Him scrap around with him and Cerrone. Oh fuck, my bad. Cerrone's lightweight, my bad.
No, Nick Diaz would do it. He would cut down and be like, "Hey, homie, like you and me, we just go to like 165 and we do it, man." Like, don't be scared. Like have him fight. Even though like MMA fans will be pissed off about it, I don't give a fuck. Him and Robbie Lawler would be fun as fuck to watch.
Indeed. And besides, Robbie lost to him the first time. He lost, so.
Yeah, you could build a pay-per-view around that easily. I mean, seriously, no offense to Johnny Hendricks. I don't want to see that idiot in a title fight until he learns you actually win the fight and not be a pussy. So I don't want to see Johnny Hendricks go for his title again until he actually learns how to win a fight again. Because I don't know what happened to Johnny Hendricks, but he became an idiot somehow when he became a champion. But at the end of the day, UFC 183, me and Steven and I should say, will both say that you should check out this event if you have free time. Find a way to, kind of watch it. You can skip the co-main event to save you time, but definitely watch the first 3 fights and then the main event, and you'll be satisfied enough, especially for, like, MMA fans who kind of, like, have just been disinterested with the product as of late, just the UFC as a whole. This event, I wouldn't say it will help you get back into it, but it will make you remember why you are a mixed martial arts fan and why you like the UFC brand is because of an event like this where it's just really, really fun and that you can show your friends this and be like, man, this is why this sport's awesome because there's fights like this on this card. So when it comes down to it, UFC 183, Anderson Silva versus Nick Diaz, the Spider returns. It's a good show. It is a really good show and one that I suggest you check out.
Indeed, absolutely, guys. Check it out and enjoy it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's it about UFC 183. We are done talking about that. Me and Steven are now going to give a quick little preview of what's to come in the MMA world. Mind you, we don't recap every single MMA event. We only recap the pay-per-views, the number of events. But actually, Steven, this is kind of weird. I don't know if you heard this, but Benson Henderson is fighting at welterweight?
Are you sure? Who's he fighting?
He's fighting Brandon Thatch. Originally, Brandon Thatch was supposed to fight off against Stephen Thomas, but Stephen Thomas got injured.
In other words, he's fighting a scrub.
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. So Benson Henderson making his welterweight debut in Colorado, so that's going to be interesting for sure.
It could work.
I've been saying, like, when he was done with the lightweight division and if he cleared out the division, he should definitely run for welterweight. I mean, his calves are huge, so that's going to be interesting for sure. Also on that card, we have Max Holloway versus Cole Miller, and that's really the only other interesting fight on this card. So now let's move on to UFC Fight Night, Bigfoot versus Mir. Antonio Bigfoot Silva is back in the UFC after being suspended for, steroids, right?
I think so. I don't
Yeah.
recall, to be honest.
This will be the first UFC event in Gianso Gaiganio, which is in Brazil. And so pretty much it's going to be Antonio Bigfoot Silva taking on Frank Mir in the heavyweight main event. And also you got the exciting Edson Barboza versus Michael Johnson. Ooh, that's going to be some dynamite right there. That's going to be a fun fucking fight to watch. And
Yeah, it will be.
yeah, so that's pretty much it for that card. And now, am I missing that card? Man, that was crazy that they just added Benson Henderson to the welterweight scene. I mean, he did want to fight right away after that Cerrone loss, so good for him. But now it's time to talk about UFC 184, Stephen. We're just going to guess the fights that I'm going to name to you, and then we're just going to kind of predict those as we always do at the end of the show. But originally, UFC 184, live from the Los Angeles, California Staples Center, was supposed to feature the main event of Chris Weidman versus Vitor Belfort. But Chris Weidman got injured. So Vitor, once again, is not going to get a title shot until like fucking the next year or something like that. So we wish Chris Weidman a speedy recovery, and so hopefully we can see Chris Weidman finally fight Vitor Belfort. But nonetheless, we have two undefeated women going at it for the women's bantamweight title. Ronda Rousey taking on Kat Zingano. Steven, what is your prediction for the main event of UFC 184?
It can go either way. I'm going to have to go with Ronda in this one. I'll go with Ronda, most likely by decision.
Okay. I'll go with Ronda Rousey winning by armbar. Second round.
That too. But then again, anything can happen in this fight. I'm not taking anything. I'm not sleeping.
I'm not taking any way on Kat Zingano either. It's just been a while since I've seen her fight. So.
Exactly.
And then we have another women's bantamweight bout. Raquel Pennington taking on Holly Holm. I'm going to choose Holly Holm on this one, just because I just feel like she's a good underdog pick, and Raquel Pennington doesn't really impress me all that much. We also have welterweight fight between Jake Ellenberger, oh god, versus Josh Koscheck. Man, grab your pillows.
He's back?
This one. Yeah,
Koscheck is back?
Koscheck apparently is back, yeah. Who would have thought it? Maybe he will be like Thiago Alves and fucking Thales Leites and make it like freaking...
Say hello to the old guys.
Yeah, the old guard's coming in, man. They want to just hold the young talent down. God dang.
Fuck yeah, they do. They do.
And then we got a lightweight title... not the lightweight title fight. That's like in a few months from now. Lightweight fight between Tony Ferguson and Yancy Medeiros. That should be interesting. And we got a middleweight fight between Mark Munoz versus Rowan Camirio, which should be an interesting fight since Munoz is known for being the takedown dude, and Rowan Camirio is someone that, can really, really do a good job with his Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So that should be an interesting fight. But that's it for the show, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in.
Good, Steven. Could go on and plug your stuff, man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to follow me on the Twitter, as you see on the screen, it's at HeelSteven. If you want to subscribe to my humble little YouTube channel where I talk about wrestling and stuff like that, combat sports as well, youtube.com/HeelSteven. Also check out the T-Mail Podcast on the T-Mail Podcast YouTube channel. We go live every Friday at 11:30 p.m. And after that, it will be available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and ShoutEngine.com for all your downloadable platforms, mobile devices, cell phones, obviously the same thing, tablets and laptops, what have you.
Alrighty then. And you guys can subscribe down below for more content from me. Make sure you give this video a big old thumbs up. Show your support. Show your love for the MMA recaps. I'll see you all next time. Hope you guys enjoy your night. Peace.
Peace easy.